Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Trying to make sure everything sets up first. Do do do. Yeah, the my stream manager's trying to be stupid. Uh-oh. Well, they'll figure it out in time. Anywho. Alright. I said last time that I'd be streaming Friday, but yeah, I figured to hop on a little later on Wednesday. Had nothing better else to do. Okay. Where we leave off at? We got pretty much everything automated to a degree. I believe I was working on doing the alien technology stuff last time, and I was gonna try to go around and see if I could collect enough steel pipes to merge everything together, and that was giving us just a little bit of trouble. But not to fret. Okay, that should give us enough storage space. So, I am going to cheat just a little bit. And what we're going to do is see if we can find where some steel pipes are at. Oh, let's see. Fresh site, da da da. Steel pipe. See, there's like a ton of it. I'm not crazy. Dune Desert, that's kind of far. Steel pipe. Let's see. Dune Desert. Dune Desert. Dune Forest. Ooh. Snake Tree Forest. Jungle Spires. Dune Forest. Desert. Desert. I guess we're going to the desert. Crater Lakes. That's not enough steel pipe for us, but Lake Forest. And then Maze Kingdom. Okay, it looks like we're going to the desert. Alright, well. I really do want to try to get our inventory management, at least our duplication for our duplication techniques for power slugs first. We are in dire need of doing that. Take this with us. Okay, hopefully we don't get absolutely obliterated. Also, we're gonna have to beat feet while we're over there because I don't have hypertubes unlocked to do hypertube cannons. But we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it sorted out. Give me just a second. Okay, there you go. Technical difficulty solved. Finally. Okay, I say that and it immediately starts doing stupid stuff. There you go. Alright. I'll eventually figure this stuff out. So, Satisfactory-wise, nothing new since last stream. I stopped right at where we left off on last stream. I did, in some of my spare time since Monday, I've been playing around with GIMP to mess around with just some images and stuff. I really haven't ever done a lot of like video editing or picture editing to any degree. Actually, none at all, to be completely honest. I haven't really touched much of anything. So it's been an interesting foray into learning to do those types of deals. So that's been pretty exciting to learn. If you check out my banners on both of my accounts, my YouTube and my Twitch account, I was able to make that with GIMP. I thought it was at least half-assed interesting. I really shouldn't be picking this stuff up. So it said there was some steel pipes at the Crater Lakes, which I'm assuming that's the blue hole. No, Crater Lake. Oh no, Crater Lakes is past the pink forest. That's right. If we can't find enough steel pipes, which I'm pretty sure we're gonna find enough, then I'll stop by there again. Or I murk myself on the way. That works too. That's a cave. But I've started out as streaming right now, but I would like to eventually go into doing actual YouTube videos, not just uploading my stream VODs to YouTube. Like actually doing some actual content and stuff, because I have some ideas that I believe might make some decent YouTube videos. I could be completely wrong. But none of the case. I love yapping to myself to the most part, so those videos will eventually be made. When? No freaking clue. But we'll find out together. I'm grabbing some of these edibles because I already know that I'm going to lose some health. Actually, I'm going to see if I can try to avoid the desert, or not the desert, the swamp, because nobody likes the swamp. I do believe, however, that this is the first time I've actually traveled on foot all the way over here before, like this. I usually do wait a bit. Or I jump off a cliff. Ooh. Well, let's load that autosave. Whoops. Oh, man. A little far back. Make it up in no time. The links we will go to solely not go and do things in a practical order. Now that I think about it, actually, it's probably be a good idea just to detour through the Crater Lakes, because honestly, that route's actually a little easier. Solely just to get around the keep from getting around the swamp, because all the spiders. Yeah, let's not fall down there. There you go. So if I go through here fast enough, I shouldn't take too much damage. Oh. Okay, that wasn't too terribly bad. I am missing out on some materials that I was getting at those other crash sites, but I'm not necessarily worried about that at the moment. I'm mainly focusing down on just getting to the ones that have steel pipes, or the ones in the general vicinities of steel pipes. We'll figure it out. Spicy boy on the horizon. Spicy boy's following me. Get away from me, please. Get away, the cooties! Oh god. Oh, danger. Stranger danger. Please. Please. It's amazing that I have to remember where I'm going. As I say that, I'm probably going to get lost immediately. But if I remember correctly... Oh, stink. Yeah, the crater lake should be right over here, so... count down the short roads. That is a lot of bullet. A lot of little buds. Oh god. Yeah, let's not do the stinky cave. All right. So, eyeballing it, I believe the crash site was... It's kind of like in a valley. There it is. Alright. Were we led astray? Nope. There they are. Good. I'll take any raiders you got too. Please leave me and mine alone. Please, thank you. Out of all my couple of 100 hours, I never knew there was a boombox tape here. Songs of Conquest. What game is this? I did know of the tape for Deep Rock Galactic. I did not know about that one. All right. Back to the desert. Don't look at me, please. I don't like you. You're icky. Please. Thank you. Goodbye. I love this little trench here in the trees biome. It's just fantastic. I love the sound of just the trickling water. on, please. Thank you. Come on. Come on, stubby legs, please. Please. I know you can do it, legs. Please. Hey, man, what's up? Nice to see you again. Yeah, man, I'm trying to get those steel pipes from last time. You have missed absolutely nothing, except for me dying once. I pulled up on the Satisfactory wiki because I thought I was going insane. Because I could have sworn there were steel pipes in a bunch of the at a bunch of the crash sites, and then when I looked at the wiki, I realized that all the crash sites that have the steel pipes on them are in the desert, except for the one that was at the Crater Lakes. And so I just picked that up, and now we're on the way to the desert, and hopefully won't get clapped. No vehicle just yet. We're beating feet. That's the way my dad used to say it. Just rubber to concrete. Or, well, industrial shoes to dirt at this point. But we'll, yeah, you're telling me, you know, after I've made it to the desert, I've kind of realized at this point that this was kind of a trek. It's taken me 20 minutes at this point. So, alright. Funny enough, the desert is like my least gone to biome. I know so many people make stuff here in the desert biome, but good grief, it's just... I've just never really came to build out here. But we're gonna try to get this. Yeah, I've been seriously debating on turning keep inventory on and just doing the wink wink fast travel. But we'll see how quick it goes. I'm pretty sure it won't be bad. I probably will collect a few things on the way back, nonetheless. Speaking of which... is there some here? I believe all the materials are up top. Rotors, okay, that's a good sign. Come on, please. Negative. Dude, okay. Oh man, I no joke went to a crash site, passed by a crash site, and I picked up a few materials, and I was like, and they had iron rods on the floor, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna need iron rods. And of course, as soon as I didn't pick it up, oh, right there. Dude, you're a genius. I didn't say I was smart, okay? In fact, your game proves. In fact, your game proves it. Oh man. Okay. To save us some time, I'm gonna do cheat code. Where is it at? There we go. Okay. So, steel pipe. So see, I pulled it up on the Satisfactory wiki of all the crash sites, and it has a list of all the materials that's on the ground. So negative. I wonder if I could copy and paste that and save myself some trouble. We're gonna find out. I don't think those. I think the wiki's lying to me. I do not think the coordinates go that far. Because I just realized that's 111,000. Oh wow. Okay, this is finicky. Okay. Okay, dude. See, this is what I'm saying. I try to be smart about some things, and then it just absolutely does not go my way. I do happen to... I think I do remember where a few things are at. I think we only need 300 pipes, and I believe we have 100 still left at home. There's like 300 and some change. But all the steel pipes, according to that wiki page, there's over 1,000, or roughly about 1,100 steel pipes just hanging around. But anyway, well, while we search, man, how's your Wednesday been going? I ended up with some free time here, so didn't really have too terribly much going on. So I figured, you know what, I'll hop on just for a little bit. Hey, I can't argue with that. Yeah, I've been working a lot on just some side projects and stuff. Oh man, are you working now? Dang, I hate to hear it, man. I used to have to do really late shifts at oh, nice. Yeah, I know a few hotel receptionists and stuff, you know. Dude, just, I feel for you. I used to work as one of the pet care guys at PetSmart a long time ago, and I would always get every Saturday night. And the craziest people just show up on Saturday nights to like get goldfish for some reason. Hey, rock on, man. That's the big thing about jobs and stuff, is if you can find some enjoyment out of it, then I guess it's an overall win. My my old job, so I'll give you a story to help you out a little bit. So when I was working as a pet care associate, oh, that's true. I went and I had to do like water testing for people. So people would bring in like little bottles of water to test their aquarium water for their fish, and I would go and test it, tell them like what the chemical balance is and stuff like that. Stuff that like anything that needed to be fixed, recommended chemicals, stuff like that, just to keep their fish happy and healthy. Well, there's one lady that came in really late one Saturday night, and no joke, it was a full moon. And I'm not really superstitious or anything, but you know, I was pushing it that night. But this lady came in, and she had a red Solo cup in her hand, and I thought it was water and everything, because you know, people bring all kinds of things in. I've had like Dasani water bottles, stuff like that. Yeah, she brings a red Solo cup in, and what she does is I go up to her and I'm like, hey, do you want to get your water tested? And she was like, oh, no, I'm here to buy some more fish. All my fish died. I'm like, oh, well, you know, what happened? Then she said she had parasites in her water. So, as any sane human being, what do you mean you have parasites in your water? So then she goes on to say that she had well water at her house. So, you know, she gets the water straight from the ground at her property. It's very common around this area. And usually that's the best type of water to get because it doesn't have like fluoride or anything in it. But she says that the parasites were in her actual tap water and that she was drinking the tap water and everything. So she had got the parasites. And I'm like, this is a crazy story. You know, I thought you were here to buy goldfish. Why are you telling me all this? Yeah, so I still had questions about the red solo cup and everything. And so I was like, well, are you trying to test the water or something to see if the parasites are still in there or something, or see if your chemicals are working on it or whatever? And she was like, no, this is my medicine. And I'm like, well, what medicine comes in a cup like that? And she was like, oh, it's full of Coors Light. She said, yeah, I went to the doctor and they tried to get me to take some pills and stuff, but I'm not big into pills or anything. So I drink beer. Beer's my medicine, and you know, it'll kill them off. The alcohol in it will kill them off. And I'm like, so wait a minute. Number one, you say you have parasites in your water. Number two, you drink that water, even after it killed all your fish. Then you get the parasites. Go to the doctor. Doctor tells you, don't drink the water. Here, take some pills, get rid of them. Then you say no to the pills and just drink beer instead. And I'm like, okay, lady, well, what do you want from me? And she's like, well, I really want to just replace my fish. I was like, well, have you got the parasites out of the water yet? And she said no. Like like they're just gonna go away on her own. Well, see, that's what I thought too for like the longest time. To give you an idea, this was, God, I feel old now. This was, like 6 years ago at this point. Which, by the way, I'm gonna give up on the steel pipes because I don't remember where any of the cargo crates are at. So I'm just gonna suffer without power selects and stuff. Anyway, so I thought she was gonna be, need to go to the hospital or something. But I've learned at this point in my life that you can't kill stupid. So I can guarantee you that lady is perfectly fine, happy, and healthy. Well, as healthy as you can be in that situation, and she's probably still drinking beer to this day. But that story haunts me, and so I get the public relations type of jobs, like dealing with the public, because there's just some absolutely wild people out there. So I don't really do that much. Yeah, the song "Beer for My Horses," beer for my goldfish. I never thought about that. That's funny. Yeah, I did turn her away for goldfish. I did do my due diligence and not let her get any more fish. I told her that she should probably fix the parasite issue first, but she probably came in with one of my coworkers, came in and just got fish then. I just didn't say anything. But like I would get crazy people like that, like all the time. Like a few other instances that I had, that now I'm just thinking about stuff that I used to deal with. So we sold, it's PetSmart, and if you've ever been to PetSmart, you know they have the hamsters, rats, just all the rodents and stuff, like gerbils, stuff like that. Well, one day this dude came in, and there's a thing with my local that's a cliff. At my local PetSmart, they have a specific section. They have a person that you call that if you need like feeder mice or something like that for your snakes, because some people only feed like live animals to their snakes, you know, to each their own. But they people would come in and try to buy gerbils. Oh yeah, I definitely agree. Like crap just goes down all of a sudden. But this dude came in one day and he was asking about, you know, buying like 5 gerbils. All of a sudden, nobody buys 5 gerbils whatsoever. And he was like being really shifty about it and everything. I'm like, hey, you know, do you need like feeder mice or something, or do you have a snake? Are you trying to get feeder mice? I'm going the wrong way, ain't I? Yep. And he didn't want to like own up to it. He didn't want to own up that he just need feeder mice or whatever. But like, and he was trying to be real shifty. He really wanted the gerbils, like for some reason. Like, don't ask me why. I have no idea. And so like, I had to talk the dude down and be like, hey man, look, just call this number, get some feeder mice or whatever. But like, he was like bound and determined to like get like animals reserved for pets. Like, that's some intentional thing for some reason. So I don't really get why people like have like mindsets and stuff like that. But I gotta say, man, it's, you know, there's all kinds of characters out there. But you definitely working at a hotel, I know for a fact you've probably got some crazy stories to tell on that type of stuff. Actually, I was thinking, so, one time for work, I had to go to, oh God, Amsterdam? Lord have mercy, I've heard stories. I've never been to Amsterdam myself, but that sounds really interesting nonetheless. But even my redneck butt has heard of Amsterdam, so. But I don't really do too terribly much traveling outside of work. But for work, I went to a hotel for down in Florida before, and usually when you travel for work and stuff, there's a document that you turn in for tax purposes to get the taxes removed from the room. Well, on the Florida website, government website, they said you don't need those forms anymore. You just let them know at the front desk when you check in, and they'll, you know, you don't need the form anymore. And we were all, and me and the guys I was with was like, cool, we don't have to deal with this. Well, the day we had to leave at like 3 o'clock in the morning, to catch our flights and get home. And so I go to check out, and they have left the receipt for the room on my door handle, outside my door handle, and I looked and still had the taxes, and I was like, crap, I'm gonna have to go like deal with this. Well, I go in there and it's like 3 a.m. right, and I'm talking to the lady that was there, and the lady immediately gets like mad at me, and she starts like accusing me of like being like, so like this is being some conspiracy theory that you know, I was trying to like screw him over or something like that. I'm like, ma'am, it's just an honest mistake and everything. And I'm like, if you have the form, I'll fill it out. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. You know, that's the least I ever want to do for anybody, is just inconvenience somebody. And so, but she was like, I don't have any of those forms. You just gonna have to go find those forms. I'm like, well, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. So, where we were staying, there's a whole strip of hotels. So I went down for five hotels down where one of my other friends were staying at the time, and luckily they had the forms there with one for me to fill out. So I filled it out and I brought it back to the lady, and the lady started going on this rant about like all the bad stuff that happened in her life and everything. And I'm like, man, I'm super sorry. Like, I'm really not trying to like cause you any more stress or anything. And you know, it's a perfect mistake. And I'm sorry I'm having to get you to deal with this at 3 o'clock in the morning and everything. But I eventually learned later, because I had to sit there with her for quite some time. I think I didn't get out of there till like 6 o'clock in the morning. I finally learned that, you know, she gets hotel receptionists, I've especially learned that really do have to deal with a absolute ton of just nonsense, and, you know, mad respect, and everything. But that's the reason why she was like really up in arms about me. I had made an honest mistake, but at the same time, there's apparently people out there who will do things like that just to try to get away with just absolute nonsense. Okay, I said I had over 100 still at base. I did not. Okay, exploration over. Let's see what we got left. Okay, jump pads is something that's on the list, but to be completely honest with you, that is not a top priority. I don't really want to waste the resources getting them. I really want to get to phase 3 and get to actually getting to coal power, so I don't have to rely on biofuel. So space elevator, concrete. There's copper wire. Iron sheets. Iron rods. No iron rods. Gotta get iron rods. And did I have concrete in here? I thought I did. Need a little bit more. Of course, the one thing I forgot to do was concrete. So before I build space elevator, let me build concrete first. I did have a few provisions set up. Do I have enough room here? I do not. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut the game on you like that. Auto moderator went and caught some bots. Before you ever came around, I would get a bunch of bots that would just say, like, go to this website, you know, there's people there or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm not really, I'm not gonna go to some sketchy website just for you. So I'm definitely not gonna go do that. Reinforced iron plate. Okay. We need to make one more of these. How are we going to get it? I say, can we get conveyor belt from here to here? Oh. To here to here. Hey, that works out. Then, let's say, can we draw it out here? I forgot about the mod that I have installed to pause the day. Let me hit that so you can actually see something, because I don't know if you can, but I can't. Oh no, it's just too long. Crap. Well, when in doubt. Can I get it to... I have zero belief that I can actually get the conveyor belt over there. So let me do some performance enhancements. And mark one miner. Here, it's going to be 200. Will it reach? It will reach, thank the Lord. And this should reach now. Yep, there you go. And then down here. We already have provisions. And I love it when a good plan comes together. All right. Yeah, that's what I was doing with these concrete foundations. I was using to control to line it up with the world grid. I learned about that, and that made a big difference because on my very first playthrough, when I was just building willy-nilly, I ended up with a factory that was completely off center from where I needed it to go, and it caused all kind of logistics nightmares. So I've learned my lesson since then. So yeah, world grid is our savior at this point. So I do have a lot of automation coming around through here. However, I do want to see if I can squeeze in the constructors for concrete. So with 120, I already know we're gonna need 3, and I would underclock 1 if we had underclocking, but I'm basically challenging myself at this point just to see if I can do it, not really using the power slugs until I really absolutely have to. And of course, I put my storage containers right where I don't need them. So they shall go here. I was using the second tier of storage containers for so long in my other playthrough, because my other playthrough is like a couple of 100 hours long, and I did not remember, because I just didn't use these old like the first generation of storage containers. I didn't realize how small of an inventory it is until I came back to this mode. But I've definitely learned my lesson, though, so we're definitely going to be like speeding through steel production, most definitely, because I ain't playing around with this no more. What are you lining up with? That is a weird way to line up. Okay, so this should be making concrete, so it's 45 per minute. So it's 120 divided by 45, so that's 2.66. And then you times that by 15. So that's 40 concrete per minute. So our Mark 1 belts should be able to do it since it's 60 per minute. And now, let's copy and paste those settings. So I would really, ooh. I'm thinking about how I want to do the belt for the limestone. My key idea that I was going for when I was just doing this is I really just wanted to have an area until I put my fix-it thing right there. I really just wanted to have like a kind of a little bit of a hallway that I can go down and grab all my materials real quickly. So I think what I'll do is I will try to maneuver this and got my concrete taken out. I'm gonna try to maneuver it where the Mark II belt kind of feeds through here a little bit. I know that's a little easier said than done, but I think it'll look cool in the long run. Even though once again this is all temporary work, but at least try to do good work nonetheless. I lost my reinforced iron plating too. Oh man. Take that so we can go and use it. And there you are. Alright. So, and then we can, it's doing on that leading edge, so we can do this. And then I'll build this out just a little bit. And then I really need to work on the Caterium to get the programmable splitter, because then I can just do an overflowed manifold. But I think what I'm going to do here is just do a splitter with 3 outputs, because since once again I can't overclock right now or underclock, so there's really no sense in trying to do any sort of management towards getting efficiency. I do like to try to build for efficiency, where everything's 100% efficient, but that's honestly just, unfortunately, just not feasible at this in particular moment. So we'll just do a 3-way split, and then all of them are gonna, yeah, exactly. It's just so much to do. So I will do it like this. So that doesn't look too terribly bad. It's at least just like a little slight slope instead of having a huge slope. And honestly, I kind of like it. I hate that clipping though. Okay, out of sight, out of mind. Hopefully that stays out of sight. Anyway, 2 more things to do. Let's run power. You have power. I did drop a hard disk in the MAM earlier. The one that I got earlier, I did not. But thanks for reminding me. That's actually a good idea to do. I keep forgetting that there's actually hard drives to unlock this early in the game, besides the 1 or 2. Let's pick up an extra one of those. Let's see here. There we go. And I don't think I'll be running any extras here, or any extra lines. If so, I'll come back and fix this later. Alright. Now, the last thing to do for this is to drop the concrete, and not the concrete, drop power to the limestone node. And then we should be up and running. There you go. Alright. Now, since we got to give that a little bit of time to cook up some concrete for us. And fuse blown. Is that... I freaking called it, like, last stream that the fuse was going to blow on that one SAM node and freak me out and think that everything crashed. Luckily, it was just that. Okay. Well, since we have to wait on the concrete, because I just do not have any concrete to spare for the space elevator, I guess we'll go ahead, since I have excess rotors and everything else is automated, I'll go ahead and just do the jump pads, just get them out of the way.
Milestone reached. The Fix-It jump pad combines high technology and innovation for optimized factory traversal and an ideal travel experience. Clarification. Ideal travel experience not guaranteed, individual results may vary. Pioneers are responsible for all workplace accidents resulting from jump pad usage.
Okay. That being done, funny enough, I've never used the jump pad in this game. That being said, I will definitely take notice to actually do that this time. And actually find some sort of use for them. On the flip side though, I do want to move some of these things around just to... I do want to move around my Fix-It store. Excuse me. Excuse me. I don't think that's correct. Yeah, I've seen like a few uses for it, but I've just never personally... I've just never came across a scenario where I've really just had a jump pad need. Because usually I get the jetpack and then, you know, you just kind of jetpack yourself. But that's part of the playthrough that I'm doing now, is I'm really trying to do things that that I didn't do in my other playthroughs. I kind of just streamlined a lot of the stuff that I did, and I'm kind of regretting it at this point. So, awesome shop finally sitting on the grounds. We'll take Ma'am, and we'll put Ma'am over here. Usually I try to stick them together, but... Oh, really? See, I kind of want to do that, because one of the things that I want to do in this playthrough is... Ooh. Hey, you had me at the word faster. Okay, well, definitely on the to-do list then. But one of the things that I want to do is definitely do like a road network. I have seen some amazing road networks that other people have done, and I'm just kind of like, I wish I would have done a road network, because usually I jump, because I've always heard that roads were, like, the tractors and stuff were kind of glitchy and stuff, but honestly, I'm going to do my diligence to embrace the glitch. I'm going to embrace it like a brother. But I want to build infrastructure, and then build infrastructure on top of infrastructure, because I don't know if you remember, but that's the one thing I did want to say was I really do want to go and make infrastructure and make when I go to these places better, like make it easier on myself, because I went and made all kinds of stuff for my aluminum factory back then, and then I just didn't have the resources needed to just get by. and we're gonna fix that. Yes, the hypertube cannons. So my friend introduced me to this game back in the beta. So that's I ended up with the beta items, you know, like the golden nut and the golden helmet. I went and I played during the beta and stuff, and one of the first things he showed me is he took me to his world, and he had a hypertube cannon where he just built out on the ocean here, and he just had a hypertube and then go all the way up to max build height, and it just flings you, and you basically instantly die because you go out of bounds. That was, no joke, my very first interaction with this game, and that's what started selling me. And then when I started getting into the automation, then I started getting sold a whole lot more. But the last update, 1.1, when they came out with the hypertube junctions, and they made it to where the hypertube cannons were so much more streamlined, so you didn't have to use so much power to get your to get all your power to run that launcher, because I remember it took ungodly amounts of power just to run that hypertube cannon. But when you had the tube junction and you could just press E to launch yourself, you went to maybe 1 or 2 hypertube entrances. So it saves on so much power. That was actually one blueprint that I did have in my last save, and I was really happy with. I know you mentioned on the last one that you can bring your blueprints and stuff over from another save. And to be completely honest with you, that would probably be my only blueprint that I brought over, because I did sit there and figured it out how to make it. I tried not to look at videos and stuff. I heard about it and I was like, and saw like a YouTube short about it, and I was like, okay, I definitely have to like try this. But I figured it out, and I had it like seamless, and it was just a copy and paste straight into the blueprint, and you just one power hookup, and then it just worked. So I will definitely bring that over for my other save. The other stuff that I had, like my railroad tracks and the other different types of stuff that I had, I didn't really have anything of too terrible interest, to be honest. So I'm not really gonna worry about any of that. But the hypertube cannon is coming back. It's too fun. I love it too much. Okay, we finally have all the materials for the space elevator. Finally. Wire. 12 on wire. Come on. There you go. And then our iron rods. Great. Okay. Space elevator. I don't really have the concrete. I have one spare concrete. You know, if I remember, the space elevator is like 7x7 foundations, I believe. It's like a really oddball number. So I'm going to do an abomination. If cover, if you have children present, cover their eyes. This is not for them to be seeing. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the space elevator, and we're just gonna plop it right down in the middle of the air, the way the Lord intended, so to say. As soon as it actually lands. All this solely for the fact that I do not have enough concrete. Literally the best animation in the game, in my opinion. Man, what a great animation.
Project assembly initialized. Congratulations, Pioneer. The space elevator will now automatically connect with the Project Assembly orbital platform. Project assembly is divided into phases, each of which require the delivery of project parts, such as smart plating, via the space elevator. Subsequent phases unlock access to new tiers with more advanced technologies to construct, automate, explore, and exploit. It is time to be honest. This project is part of the Save the Day program, the largest united undertaking in human history, destined to save us all. Earth is in peril and only Fix-It pioneers offer hope for survival. Fix-It is counting on you. Humanity is counting on you. Do not let Fix-It down.
Okay, this is about to be the quickest smart plating build that we ever did. I'm gonna give it just enough resources to make exactly what it needs to make, and then we're gold. And luckily the space elevator was not too terribly horrendous, because I forgot that it drops these beams down in the water. Honestly, kind of liking that, not gonna lie. But I'm telling you, man, just the elevator coming down and it just like grabbing onto the latches, and then you just the way they did it, you can like feel the way that it just pulls the thing down to like brace it. Like you just feel it. That was absolutely exciting. Well, yeah. Well, I can't say it's exciting. I can definitely say that it was it's very satisfying. Hence satisfactory. Okay. So I just had an assembler here to just make the required amount of smart plating we need, because I'm really waiting. I don't want to make enough rotors to automate, because once again they have the screws in the production, and I'm not a big fan of screws, nor literally anybody. So I'm going to just give it the rotors that we found at the crash sites to make the smart plating, and then once it does that, then we'll go and start working on like unlocking like steel production and stuff like that, so we can then get the steel rotor blueprint or alternate recipe. So then once we do that, then we'll automate rotors. Which, thinking on about it, it would be nice if I kept this area as where I did all of my automating, have just one base. However, nearest coal node that I think of is where everybody makes their very first coal plant, which is down in that little lake right behind the fields. And you know, I'm probably just gonna make my steel production there, because there is, on a cliff over there, there is an iron node, a copper node, and a limestone node. So copper node not necessarily needed, but there should be enough iron there to at least make steel, because we can use the coal, and then we can also use that to make encased beams. And I know encased beams is used for Mark 3. No, Mark 3 is steel beams. Mark 4 is encased beams. So if we can make the encased beams from that little setup, that will give us something that we can just bank on for just quite some time. So we could definitely use that. So that's what I did last time. It worked out pretty good. I did like a really weird train network through there, and I'm not doing that again. And I think that'll also be temporary, because I do think having steel production somewhere else would be helpful. I might actually put it in the blue hole with my fuel factory, because after coal power, I'll go do the beginner oil setup to get a little bit of oil power, and then we'll and then I'm gonna jump straight to rocket fuel. I gotta remember. Yes, rocket fuel. So that I'll jump straight over there. My brother in Christ, you have made 8. 2 per minute. Dude, it's gonna take 30 minutes to make. Oh my god. Okay. When in doubt, just make more. Okay, you can at least do this one, and then I'll do it so it'll be even number. Okay, that's the plan. Somewhere in all that yapping that I just said, one thing that I really do need to do is... Okay, there you go. One thing I do need to do is make a network for trucks and use that network to supply coal to areas. Actually, I'm thinking with trucks now. So there's actually a decent like dirt road from right here where we're at to that blue hole area, so we can do that to move trucks through, and then we can do a truck system for coal, because then we can do the coal for the truck fuel, and they'll have plenty of coal, so we don't have to run coal fuel to the... Okay, I need to shut up and just actually do stuff. Split, and then we'll split you 15, 15, and 10. Yeah, we'll do that. Come on, there you go, and we'll do split. We'll do 10 like that. There you go. All right. Back in action. Do that. Do that. Do that. That's and that and that. So I never got to ask you, but have you ever completed Satisfactory? Made it all the way through phase 5 and completed the game. I've made it to phase 4 all the way to the point that I needed to make the all the materials to get to, well, sorry, is it phase 3? I think it is. Anyway, the phase before you get to all the experimental stuff in tier 9. I got all the way there, but then I didn't finish doing all the materials to then unlock phase 9. I didn't do the nuclear pasta in particular. So we're definitely getting phase 9 because I want the teleporters. But I've never really... I don't have a lot of people that I talk to that actually have played this game in particular. But I do want to... no. I do want to actually get that far eventually. Oh. Man, that's crazy. 10 times? Straight OG, in my opinion, man. I need to be learning a thing or two at this point. It just takes so long to get to like the late phases, and Which, by the way, I'm sorry I'm not doing anything. I'm really just waiting on the smart plating to finish. But man, getting all the way to the end, like I've seen the animation. It got spoiled for me a long time ago, and I saw the animation for the very end of the space elevator when you finish it. Bro, man, I hear you, man. Like this is a game. This game's kind of like that for me too. Like I really enjoy this game. I do have to take breaks sometimes, but I always seem to come back to it. It just calls to me, and I don't know why. So I do not have any arguments for you whatsoever for doing that. Honestly, straight baller status. Like awesome. Okay, we're almost done with the smart plating. Well, I say that. We're a third of the way done. Well, while we do wait on this, just to kill a little bit of time, dang, 2,000 hours. I do not have, now that I think about it, there's only one game that I've ever had over 1,000. Dude, Space Engineer. Okay, I know the type of person you are now. You're like the type of person to like come to during like if there's an apocalypse that comes out, like a zombie apocalypse or something. You're the type of person you go to like plan out the fortress and everything to keep all the zombies out. I actually saw a short, a YouTube short the other day of somebody on Space Engineers, and they were like, "Can you mine out a whole planet?" And it showed that they had the like a miner that they were going through, and they were just digging out a hole, and like it was a pretty big like trench or whatever, but it wasn't making a dent obviously in the planet. And then he cuts to this massive spaceship that he built that just drilled a giant hole straight through the planet, and all that was left, there was no land left on the planet whatsoever. All that was left was it was just the atmosphere. Like the graphics for the atmosphere was just left, and it's just mind-boggling to me that somebody made a spaceship that large solely just to eat a planet for a YouTube short. That stuff is just absolutely amazing. But so dude, mad respect. Honestly, just mad respect. But I gotta find that short again. That short was amazing. I got Space Engineers. Dude, I believe you. So funny enough, don't hate me, okay? I've played Space Engineers for like 5 minutes. I have Space Engineers. I've only played it like very little. But I do want to play Space Engineers. There was a guy a long time ago. Let me see if I can remember his name. He's I think his name was, it was a British guy. Soviet Womble, I think was his name. He made a Space Engineers video, and I watched it back when I was like in high school, and everything. And he he would do the stupidest stuff where he would make this make a really cool spaceship, and like he would try to flaunt the spaceship, and then his friends would come after him with like a phallic shape of the spaceship and just absolutely just obliterate all his hard work. And that was my introduction to it.
Unknown chemical element collected. This non-metallic and multivalent element seems to be present only in a solid state and exhibits a most pungent smell. It is fortunate fixit helmets are of such high quality. Research it in the MAM to establish classification and potential application.
Really? They made a second game? They make a second Space Engineer? That's crazy. I didn't know that. Okay, well definitely after I finish streaming today, I'm 100% putting that on the Steam wish list. Like absolutely. That's going to have to go on there. It's oh, it's early access. Okay. I'm definitely gonna check that out because I didn't know they were making a second one. I know the first one's just so popular. Dude, I have water? Bro, my PC is gonna explode, man. I just know. I just absolutely know that that's just gonna kill my PC. Speaking of killing PCs and everything, so I'm starting out playing Satisfactory, and however, I don't know if this is like up your alley. I mean, you're the only guy watching me right now, so you know, try to be entertaining for you. Dude, you can make submarine? Oh, come on, man! Dude, stop! Dude, I was sold when you said Legos for grown-ups. I was sold then. You keep making it sound even better and better. But anyway, before my ADHD just straight takes me to another universe. I'm streaming Satisfactory right now because obviously it's video game, you know, live stream a video game, you know, about as basic as it gets. And also Satisfactory, I have no issues with running around and just doing nothing but yapping like I'm doing. I hope it's somewhat entertaining for you, or at least killing time. But one of the things that I would like to do in some future streams, and I might check it out Friday, I may not, but I have a computer that sits right next to me, and I actually built the computer out of old parts to, well, I say old parts, but just computer parts that I've come across during my time, and I'm going to try to make some sort of AI bot with it. Nothing fancy, you know, just something to tool around with on streams, because I've seen some other streamers do some like coding stuff on their streams and everything, and honestly, IRL, I'm a software engineer, so you know I deal with that stuff all the time. But I've been dabbling with, you know, machine learning and stuff like that. So I figured it'd be nice to have like a bot, because even like, let's say like to be completely honest with you, I did not even plan for anybody to, you know, show up to these streams for like months. The fact that you're here, I don't even know how you ended up here, but man, I'm glad to have you. But still, I was not really expecting anybody to be here, so, and I was gonna run out of stuff to yap about on my own. So I was going to make a bot that would yap back to me. So I don't know if that'd be any interest or not, but I'm going to try streaming that if you want to check it out or not. But if not, does not hurt my feelings whatsoever. Okay, I'm going to go quiet just for a little bit while Ada yaps, and then I'll start talking again in just a minute.
Welcome to the Project Assembly Pioneer Progress presentation. Congratulations, the Phase 1 project part shipment is now ready for delivery. On delivery, Phase 1 will be completed and the distribution platform will be constructed. After completion of Phase 1, the technologies of Tiers 3 and 4 will become available in the hub. Highlights are automated power, steel production, personnel transportation, and many more. Completing Phase 2 of project assembly is your next main objective. New project parts will need to be produced and delivered to the space elevator as you have done previously. Continue to construct, automate, explore, and exploit for a better Fix-It future.
Okay, there you go. Dude, this animation is still great. I just love the space elevator.
Phase 1 of project assembly completed. This is only the beginning of project assembly, the first step towards saving the day. You have performed adequately so far. Reminder, not only is Fix-It saving humanity, it is saving all of Earth, including kittens and puppies. It is statistically likely that you appreciate the continued existence of kittens and/or puppies. Continue the work for their sake. Continue the work for Fix-It. It is time to start the work on Phase 2 of project assembly.
Fantastic. Okay, now we can actually freaking do steel, and then our life just gets 100 times better. Anyway. I just thought about this. I don't know why I thought about it. No joke, an hour later. But, you know, so you said you were working at a hotel in Amsterdam during night shifts. Is that Amsterdam, New York? Is that where it's at? I was just sitting here thinking about that. Like, New York State? No. You're not talking about the Amsterdam in the Netherlands, are you? Dude, no way. Oh, you gotta be pulling my leg. No, you got to be pulling my leg. Seriously? Night. No. Like, are you talking about, like, morning night? Or, like, the sun just went down night? 4 a.m. Well, I don't know if you guys use military time, or it'd still be 4. Holy crap, dude. Dude, how'd you end up watching my redneck butt? I don't know, man. Dude, internet's a small place. I'll leave it at that. But, man, that's crazy. I was sitting here, and I was just thinking while Ada was yapping, I was like, man, he said he was working at a hotel in Amsterdam. And I said that I heard of Amsterdam. I was sitting here thinking of Amsterdam, New York State, right? And I was like, there's no way, somebody's watching from the Netherlands, you know, turn up. With that being said, I have to ask, you know, is it nice over there in the Netherlands and everything? I've never been out of the States, to be honest with you. Funny enough, I've been all across America, but I've never really been like to Europe whatsoever. So, like, honestly, what the heck? I want your opinions, man. Like, where do you recommend? Like, if I was to go to Europe, right? Where would you like recommend to go? Because, you know, the first thought, because like I don't speak any other languages. I'm basically illiterate in the worldview. You know, I would think, okay, English speaking countries, you know, Britain, but you know, Britain's Britain, or England, whatever. You know, I don't know where to go. But man, that's crazy. See, that's one of uh, see that's so is English the primary language of the Netherlands? Like what's y'all's primary language? I need more of the actual stuff we actually need to do. I need to stop yapping and actually play the freaking game. I just enjoy talking Dutch. So is like everybody bilingual over there? Because so I live in the state of Georgia in the United States, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Everybody just speaks English, and like maybe a little bit of Spanish, but even in like where I'm at, that's kind of rough. You know, there's not a lot of people speaking Spanish or any of these other types of stuff. Obligatory Ada yapping.
Milestone reached. Power production can now be fully automated by burning coal, which has been added to the resource scanner. Water is also necessary to run the coal-powered generator and will require a network of pipelines to be transported from a water source. To assist with locating and identifying water, Fixit has compiled this guide. Water is a somewhat reflective liquid and it may have thick vegetation growing nearby. To test if something is water, try touching it. If it is not solid and does not corrode your suit, it is probably water.
I've seen water that would corrode the suit, so honestly, you know, that's not necessarily true, Ada. Spain, Portugal, and Italy and France. Yeah, I can believe that. Like, I thought most of the European countries over there, which I'm going to go ahead and tell you, my education, you know, I may be an engineer, but that does not mean my geography's great. Only in tourist areas. Well, see, that's the thing is, like, if I go traveling over to the European places, like, I don't want to, like, go get, you know, shanked somewhere. Like, get knifed down in a back alley. Which I know most places aren't like that, but... I do want to go, like, travel, but I don't want to be... I've heard horror stories that people go over there and be typical Americans. And that's what I don't want to be, is I don't want to be a typical American that goes over there and just assumes things. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go over there and assume people are going to speak English. And I don't want to look like a freaking idiot over there. I just want to go... You guys actually have architecture and stuff over there. The houses over here are made with, like, freaking tissue paper and stuff. And I don't want to just go and, you know, assume things like people... which I know this is kind of an outlier, but, you know, you learn it. I learned a little bit about Japan and stuff. Like, there's customs in Japan that I never would have even thought about. You know, like eating in the streets and stuff like that. Like, they really don't like that. Which, once again, do I know how to bike? Yes, I do know how to ride a bike. Alright, to give you an idea, like, how bad it is, okay? I do know how to ride a bike. I learned how to ride a bike when I was a kid. However, America is not bike friendly at all. Well, the state of Georgia isn't. I didn't freaking bring concrete, dude. I get on such a tangent. I'll deal with that later. I know how to ride a bike. I have a really nice bike, but we are not biking distance from anything. To give you an idea, if I was to ride a bike to the nearest grocery store from where I'm at, and I'm considered close to a grocery store, it would be a 2-hour walk. Or by a bike ride, it would be like a 30-minute bike ride. And even then, I'm probably going to get hit by a car. See, that sounds amazing, right? You know, I'm a big dude. Okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind. You say you have bike lanes everywhere. I'm going to take a picture on my drive to work tomorrow. I'm going to take a picture on the drive to work tomorrow, and I'll show it on the stream next stream. If you happen to show up, and I'll show you. We have a bike lane on this back road right by my office, and the lane is no joke, like 100 feet. Like no joke. You can stand at the end of it where it ends and start walking it, and you'll be done in like 45 seconds, and the bike lane will end, and the bike lane is like gone. It is the most absolute useless bike lane you have ever seen in your entire life, and it goes nowhere. I'm telling you, man. You know, stuff seems crazy, but I'm going to prove to you, like, I'm not lying to you. I wish I was. But they built it, like, not too long ago, and it's actually insane. Copper wire. I did not automate copper sheets, did I? I did not. Okay, fantastic. We will fix that. But, yeah, so you said, like, totally flat country. Dude, that sounds cool. See, where I live at, I can't cross the road on a bike, and then because I'll die. But to give you an idea, the neighborhood that I live at, okay, dude, hold on, tangent time. I need Microsoft Paint. No, screw this. No, Microsoft Paint. Let's do Paint. Okay, so I know this isn't satisfactory, but I just got to talk about this. So the way my neighborhood is set up, I freaking did that again. Right, is so this is the main road right here to my neighborhood, and there's like a cul-de-sac right here. Well, my house, like my driveway is like right here, and then we have like houses all the way down, up and down the street and everything. So and then there's more houses all around. But anyway, so like I'm right here. So I can bike, and I bought the bike to do this. And I would go up and down through the cul-de-sac and everything, and I would bike up and down. But the big problem with it was that all these people, every single house has a dog of some sort. Everybody has a dog, and nobody keeps them on leashes, and they just let them loose. So in this part right here, it's like a big hill. So like you'll start like right there and then go down, and then it's a huge hill going up. And so I was one day biking, so I went down and I was coming back up, and I was pedaling for my life trying to get up here. And well, there's woods to a degree everywhere. It's like kind of like in a forest, or dingy forest is the best way to put it. But I would get to the very top right here at the cul-de-sac, and then I would turn around, and then I would coast down the hill. So when I coasted down the hill, I saw something in the woods like start coming after me, like start running towards the road. I'm like, what in the world is it? And it was somebody's dog, like full sprint. And so I had 12 speeds on that bike, and I went through all 12 of them on the way down that hill. I was going the fastest I have ever gone on a bike. So to give you an idea, so dude, how can I draw this? And I cannot draw whatsoever. But like, so like, you know how you have the pedal, the horrible looking pedal, but like your foot goes here, right? Here, I'll do a little shoelace, right? So you're pedaling, right? The dog was no joke snapping at me, and he was no joke. This is an amazing dog drawing right here. He was no joke this close to my foot, snapping at my heels, and I'm not kidding you. I'm probably going as fast as I possibly can on this bike, and this dog is chasing me down this hill. And I got lucky that he stopped chasing me on the way back when I started going back up. I got lucky and he stopped chasing me, and I immediately biked to my house, and I, no joke, have not touched that bicycle since. Because people just don't take care of their animals at all. Where I live, and you know, it I feel, I don't know how to feel, to be honest with you, because you know, yeah, I mentioned, now that I know you're in the Netherlands, the PetSmart for me is just a pet store. I worked at a pet store. I've been around animals all my life. My grandmother used to have goats that she used to take care of, goats and chickens, and she would, and she took care of them all my life, and I used to help her do it. So I love animals. You know, the animals 9 times out of 10 are just generally good. There's very little animals that are like bad, but people just don't take care of their animals or anything. So like I'll be coming out, and like the main thoroughfare is like this direction, and I'll come out of my house in my car, and I will, no joke, pass like two or three like dogs or cats or something, like just in the road, and I have to go as slow as possible to like not hit them. There's people with like black Pomeranians, um like the little tiny fluffy dogs that they just won't, you know, they'll just let them out and run around, and they won't, and they just let them free like while they're at work, so they're just running around. And you know, I don't know about the Netherlands, but like in in Georgia where I'm at, you know, we got freaking hawks and falcons that will come and pick up a small dog and tote it off. It will fly off with this dog. And people were just letting them roam around in the streets. But there's like craziness. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying is like, you know, that I'm getting off tangent on Satisfactory. If you want me to go back to playing Satisfactory, just let me know. But seriously, like, you know, I read things about like European countries and stuff, and it's just very interesting to me that, you know, Europe, that throughout history, you know, people have, yeah, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I have a cat. I love him to death, but he stays in the house and everything. Actually, I have a pet bird. You know, I let him fly around the house. Yeah. Um. Actually, I see rep to give you an idea like how bad, um, like how rural it is. Like, there's nothing but forest, like all the way down here. Nothing but forest. So like, our trash carrier, you know, I leave my trash can like by the road, and our trash carrier comes, picks up the trash and everything, and I'll wait till, dude, I'll go out there, yeah, geese and stuff. I'll go out there and I'll be in my pajamas, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care at this point. I've lost hope in a lot of humanity, but I'll go out there with my pajamas on and my sandals, and I'll walk my driveway, and there will be deer hanging out, just staring at me, like in my front yard, just like staring at me, like, dude, what are you doing here? And like, I'll have a flashlight with me because I wait till like really late at night, like right around this time. It's 10:30 for me, so like I'll wait really late at night. Yeah, I'll wait really late at night because everybody's usually in their houses by then, and then I go out there and I grab my trash can and bring it back to the house or something like that. And these deer will just stand out there and stare at me. I don't leave them alone. Sometimes they'll run away, sometimes not, but I leave them alone. But like, I'll have rabbits, armadillos, just all kinds of things just like hanging out around the house. And it was funny because I do have a dog, and he's so old, he just hangs out, but I, you know, I keep him on a lead and everything, and he has his own doghouse and everything. But he has like a little pen area, And I say little, but it's no joke, half an acre. You know, he has more real estate than I do in my own house. Um, to be honest with you. And you know, he was just hanging out with an armadillo one time, and the armadillo was eating his food, and he was just sitting there, just letting it happen. And it was the funniest thing because armadillos are like super stubborn. They'll like do a lot of digging, digging holes and stuff, and a lot of people consider them pests around here. But I had to go out there and I had to tap the armadillo. Like, you don't really want to touch them because they'll have like diseases and stuff. Sometimes you just never know. But you'll I had to tap him with my like with my shoe, like, hey dude, like, stop eating my dog's food, you know, go over there. In a shoe. And the armadillo was just like, I don't care, I'm gonna eat this dog food. I'm gonna eat this dog food and just do what I want. And I was like, what can you do? He has an armored shell, and I can't pick him up. So, you know, he eventually just scurried away. But it was the funniest thing because he just scurries through the grass, and you just hear him like breaking sticks and stuff, just absolutely just doing its own thing, and it's just really funny to me and everything. But okay, I'll promise to go back to Satisfactory now. Oh god, that was disorienting. But yeah, sorry, I had to get on that tangent. You know, things are just oddball, like around my neck of the woods. I live in a relatively rural area next to like some big cities, but a lot of these places that I go to, a lot of the time, they are not necessarily, you know, the most, well, refined, I guess is the best way to put it. I guess to give you an idea, I went to California to go to Silicon Valley, where all the tech companies are, and you know, I got to go see like the Google headquarters and Apple headquarters, and just a bunch of other, you know, of the tech giants. Go see, you know, how they're doing things. By the way, I'm building copper sheets. Just FYI. But we went to go see all the tech giants and everything, but I flew out there, and at the time, you know, I was like, you know what, I want an Apple Watch. You know, I was really big in the like smartwatches back then, which I've moved on to dumber watches, which that's another conversation for another time. But I went to the Apple store there, and I was talking to the lady there, and she was from Los Angeles, I believe. And she was like talking to me and everything, and like we were comparing notes on just like how things are compared, like in the different areas, like from where I'm at compared to where she's at. Oh, smart one. And just between just our two areas, just everything is just completely different. It's just like night and day. Just even in the continental United States, it's just everything's just completely different no matter where you go. I can go, so like, let's say I want to go to like the next state over, which is South Carolina. Oh my god, the clipping. Please. We're going to ignore it for progress sake. Yeah, so we went to South Carolina a few weeks ago for a family function, and going there, you know, that's a 4.5 hour ride just to get to the next state over. And we were going there, and you know, just the culture, you could see, no joke, like I don't know if it's like this for you guys in Europe, but over to where like we're at, we crossed the state line, and it's like somebody snapped their fingers. The trees changed. Like everything changed. It's like the atmosphere, no joke, like the actual atmosphere of the earth changed just by crossing a state line. And it was just really bewildering to me, like, holy crap, you know, this is, you know, this is just going one state over. Good grief, I yap so much. Sorry if I'm yapping your ear off. Got me on a tangent. But, yeah, man, I don't even remember what we were freaking talking about. Oh yeah, that's right. It was the, it was like the bike lanes and stuff. But yeah, no, actually, now I think about it, hold on, my wife tells me this all the time, and, you know, now I have a witness. Yeah, I told you, man, I yap. I do nothing but talk. And, you know, most of the time people learn not to listen. But, I'm letting these copper sheets come in so I can get some sheets for the water extractors and stuff. So that's right. We were talking about from bikes, then we went to wild animals, stuff like that. Anyway, there is like small pockets of communities that I've seen, but they're way up towards like, well, for Georgia, our state capital is Atlanta. You know, towards Atlanta, you start getting a few bike lanes, but there's very little at all. Biking anywhere is usually a death sentence. And I appreciate it. But yeah, usually biking somewhere is a death sentence because, you know, number one, everything is just so spread apart. And then two, that people, and I've learned this is just a Georgia thing, is like people drive so aggressively. The culture for driving, to give you an example, today I was taking a friend to go help him with a leg surgery that he just had. He had a leg surgery, and he lived like one town over. But we had to take the interstate just to get to that town, and that's like a 30-minute drive just to get to his apartment from where we work at. So we had to take the interstate just to get to him. And, you know, while we were there was no joke, like the 18-wheel container trucks were no joke, like trying to like run us over and everything. Like the drivers would like, I'm moving my hand like you people can see me, but they were no joke, like start drifting into the other lane, like into our lane, like we weren't even there. And it was just, you know, you start thinking like, you know, this is where it all ends. But yeah, do I wish I lived somewhere where I could bike everywhere? Absolutely. I'd probably be less fat than I am now. But I love a bike culture, and honestly, if the Netherlands is like that, then I definitely want to get in on that action. You know, me and my wife were actually talking, and we would like to go to Europe at some point. You know, but just due to the nature of, you know, my job and everything, you know, I have to. My job would require me to fill out like a 100-page booklet of like questionnaire of like why I'm going to Europe, and the answer would probably be to go ride a bike. But So, you know, it's not really in the cards just right yet. Also, I'm not very political, but at the same time, you know, current state of affairs in the world, you know, trying to stay close to home with the dogs that attack me in the road. Really? I never knew that about like that's why y'all started like using bikes and stuff. You know, but that makes sense. You know, you can survive crashing a bicycle and everything, but like car wrecks and everything. Well, hey man, nice to meet you. Now we got 2 real people in the chat. We're doing a serious uptake in people again compared to the bots recently, so we're about to overtake them. But hey, welcome to the conversation, wherever we're at in it. But yeah, I never knew that was the reason why you know, y'all went to bikes. That's actually very interesting. You know, car crashes and stuff are like, they're bad. I pass a car wreck, no joke, at least twice a week. It's just so bad. People don't know how to drive, and people don't need to drive. Okay, now that you're saying about the bikes and Satisfactory, you know, here's the thing. Have you got the Cybertruck in Satisfactory? Have you got that yet? Have you tried that out? Because that'll definitely show you that, you know, like just the serious amount of like inability to like do any sort of engineering work in America. But yes, we do need bikes and Satisfactory. That would actually be really dope. Is the driver the problem or the pedestrian because they're close to each other? I don't know, actually. You know, if back in the 70s, roads were like, looked like America full of cars and of course congestions. Dude, distracted pedestrian, that is, yes. Okay, so from what I understand from driver school, no joke, over a decade ago, if the pedestrian is in the crosswalk and the pedestrian has the there's usually a light that say when the pedestrian can go. If the pedestrian's in the crosswalk and they have the light for them to walk, if they get hit by the car, then it's the car's fault. If the pedestrian is walking just in the middle, like walking across the road at some random point that's not on a crosswalk, then it's dependent, I guess, is the best way to put it. Actually, no, it's the pedestrian's fault. Now I think about it, yeah, it's the pedestrian's fault if they're not on a crosswalk. Yeah. Dude, dude, you speak of congestion. Dude, let me tell you about congestion, man. If you ever come to the States, really, jaywalking's very... If you don't mind me asking, where are you at? The jaywalking's normal. Usually if where I'm at, Brazil. Dude, we're getting a worldwide stream at this point, man. You know, holy crap. We got the Netherlands, Brazil, and the state of Georgia. I'm starting to feel the culture flow into me at this point. But yeah, see, that's the thing is like when you say jaywalking is very normal, you're talking about like people would just like walk in the streets, right? Like they basically own the streets and everything. Okay, all that culture that I said that I felt like I was having is immediately washed away when you started typing in a different language. I feel betrayed. Oh man. I don't care what languages y'all speak. Y'all do whatever y'all want to. Joke's on you though. I'm gonna go back to Google Translate later. Portuguese. Y'all are speaking Portuguese? Is that what it is? Dude. Yeah, yes, please stop. You know, I'm educated for the area I'm at, but please, y'all are definitely making me feel uneducated. Okay, timeout. Different from Portugal Portuguese? What do you mean? What do you mean different from Portugal Portuguese? Like give me a roadmap here, please. So when you say it's different Portugal Portuguese, what that tells me is when I put it in Google Translate's gonna be wrong. And then I'm gonna come back later and be like, yeah, Google translated what you guys. Yeah, like I Google translated you guys, and you know, so I could be part of the conversation and everything. And then I'll be like, this is what you guys said. Bro, come on, man. And you know, y'all have me yapping about the most like weird stories, and then you hit me with yeah, I forgot to tell you, you know, I went to Amsterdam for 2 weeks and just decided not to come back. Dude, that is completely unheard of. What do you mean? Like, if I went somewhere and just decided never to come back, 30 years, bro, no. No way, dude. No way. Dude, if I went missing, they'll have the yeah, exactly. Already a freaking local. 3 decades. Holy moly. Yeah, man, dude. You're just a citizen at this point. Dude, if I left from like where I'm at, right? You know, I would 100% be like there would be people looking for me. I'm not getting away. I hope I have enough materials. But it took like 10 years to learn Dutch. Okay, I did not expect me to like start streaming and then all of a sudden just get like upclassed by everybody. But I see how it is. It's okay. I'm on to you guys. You know, I'm gonna roll up in here one day and just start speaking fluent and Dutch and Portuguese, the Google Translate Portuguese. You know, watch it. I'm coming for you. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. You know, I can't really hold that bluff. I'm technical based. I'm not language based. You know what I can do? I can talk to you guys in Python script. How about that? Brother, let me tell you, English is my first and worst language. I'm just telling you as it is. You know, it's a miracle I can speak English as it is, dude. All memos, emails, and stuff are here in English. See, you say that, you know, right, in the Netherlands, that everything's in English, and knowing my luck, you're baiting me into going to the Netherlands, and then nothing's in English. Like, that's the type of world I live in, where people will do stuff like that. They'll be like, oh yeah, dude, it's you know, you should totally do this. You know, it rocks, and then I go do it. It's nothing like they said. That's been done before. But nah, you know what? Dude, you're a guy on the internet. I trust you. Trust. Bro, everything on the internet's true. Number one rule. Okay, power. Go. Honkin' boy. But yeah, dude, the 900 tangents we have gotten on within the past 30 minutes. Going back to the, like, jaywalking thing, oh crap, Ada. Hold on.
Interesting, most pioneers already had coal power set up by this point because they understood their responsibility to humanity. Adjusting pioneer attitude metrics. Reminder, coal-powered generators require coal.
Get on an app to see where your viewers are at. Like, what app are you talking about? Educate me a little bit. Because I'm definitely interested. 45 minus 8 is 360. Pipe 1 belt does that. Quick maths. I'm gonna get the math wrong, so it doesn't matter. I need my junctions. I'll tell you what, I'll do my homework after the stream. I'll do my homework and see if I can find what you're talking about. Yeah, all its life. Okay. Well, I'll do my homework and see if I can find what you're talking about, and I'll check it out. See, jokes on you. I only got 2 people, and I don't need no app because they told me where they're at. And if one of y'all are lying, then power to you. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so we all play Satisfactory. At least we have something in common. Brother, hold on, wait, time out. Dude, okay, hold on. Dude, you said some. And then you said 450 hours. Brother, y'all are actually putting me on the spot. Can y'all actually see what I'm saying? Yeah, okay. No joke, y'all are actually putting me on the spot. I only have like 497. And you say some. Dude, please. Y'all are putting me on blast. Warframe? Dude, I will flex on you on Warframe. Dude, hold on. I'll flex on you in Warframe. Hold on. Dude, I got you. Boom. Never installed.
What?
No, okay, hold on. Time out. Hey, I appreciate the Steam invite. I'm not gonna do, friend invites and everything. I appreciate the invite to be friends and everything. Because I'm new to streaming and stuff, I'm not really gonna. I'm trying to take precautions, no offense to, any of you guys, no offense whatsoever. But I'm trying to feel the line between, you know, hanging out with people and not, and, keeping, personal life together, which, that's really funny to say that I drew a drawing of my freaking neighborhood and everything, but, I appreciate the offer, but going back to Warframe, dude, I'll tell on myself. I played Warframe when it first came back. It came out, on the Xbox 360, Gears of War edition Xbox 360, the one that made the Gears of War sound from the main menu when you press the power button. I played Warframe on that. Dude, okay, I have no doubt that Warframe's a good game and everything. I've heard great things about it. Funny enough, back in college, I had a friend that did nothing but play Warframe, and he almost knows of the Gears. You don't like Gears of War? Oh, Gears of War. Okay, I got you. I got you now. The Gears of War is the good game. Is that what you're saying? Um, I'll finish this thought. Yeah, okay. I'll finish this thought. But I had a friend that played Warframe in college, and he, no joke, almost flunked out of college like 3 different times because he just kept playing Warframe. That's all he would do is play Warframe just all the time. Um, Now Gears of War, on the other hand, I'll tell you about some Gears of War. Yeah, Gears of War. I used to play the ever living crap out of, it was either 2 or 3. They had the Horde mode. The Horde mode where they always had the waves of enemies, and it was like the introduction to Horde modes to any game. Oh my god, Ada, please.
Fix-It pipelines can contain any fluid, including the water necessary for coal-powered generators. Note: water does not flow upwards by itself. While water extractors provide some lift, to truly defy gravity, consider the use of pipeline pumps.
Okay, I'm gonna try to avoid the pumps. I'm gonna need them. But anyway, so Gears of War, I used to play the Horde mode, and that's between the campaign and the Horde mode, that's all I would play. And it was, that just tickled my fancy the entire time. That's all I played, for like a good long while. I spent like 3 different summers playing that, and I ran out of copper. Like, that's all I would do. Starter of stage 4 on Satisfactory. Yeah, I finished. Well, I didn't finish. I think it's like phase 3. It's when you, it's right before you get into the stuff that they added in 1.0. That's where I stopped. I haven't done the stuff that they added in 1.0. But anyway, but like Gears of War and everything, brother, dude, don't get me started with aluminum. Aluminum's the reason why I'm starting fresh. I'll leave it at that. But dude, Gears of War was my jam back in the day. Now the multiplayer, no, I did not play the multiplayer. I just got absolutely wrecked by like everybody. And if you stay here long enough, you'll realize that I'm not good. Okay, hit me with it. Brother, dude. Army of Two was one of the very first games I ever played with my dad. Me and my dad used to go and play Army of Two all the freaking time. I've been trying to get my dad to play Army of Two with me again. Dude, okay, if that's ball knowledge, that's insane. That's insane. That's gotten to be ball knowledge at this point. Army of Two was so good, dude. The very first game that I played, I still have the freaking disc, dude, is Halo Combat Evolved for the original Xbox. My dad had bought an Xbox before I was old enough to play games, and he used to play like this NASCAR game. It was like NASCAR 2004 or something like that. And he would play that and everything, and I was like, what's this? And he's like, oh, it's an Xbox, you want to play? Sure. And he put Combat Evolved. You know, I'm like, I'm not old enough at the time to like do terribly much anything, but he plays like he puts in Halo Combat Evolved, and I play that game over and over and over and over and over again. And then me and him play co-op or whatever for like a long time with Combat Evolved. And then he was like, I moved to the Xbox 360, and he picks up this game from GameStop. He was like, Army of Two, this looks like a co-op game. You want to play it together? And I was like, yeah. You know, because I thought my dad was like god tier at the time at playing games. And, dude, no. Dude, Army of Two, just the funny quips that they just hit you with every single time of an Army of Two is just awesome. You know, I've been actually meaning to go back and play Army of Two. You know, I really want my dad to play it with me, because that's peak memories. Dude, bringing up fine wine there. Okay, are you talking about the X? Okay, Kinect's Adventures. I had my mom had got an Xbox Kinect because she wanted to try to be a part of the gaming crew, but she never lasted because she started out with the Xbox 360 with the Kinect feature, and she did the Kinect Adventures, and they had the whitewater rafting one, and she did that and almost blew out her knees. Just obliterated the knees. I'm gonna have to redo this. I already know. Crap. Kinect Adventures. Wow, dude. Yeah, dude, it seriously was. Like, it's just amazing. I played for the Switch, the whatchamacallit, dude, I cannot think. The Wii Sports for the Switch. You know, I played that. It doesn't hit like the original Wii Sports, which I still have my old Wii. I actually went and homebrewed my old Wii, so you could put like ROMs on there, and you can actually play. Yeah, see, I never had a Wii U. I've always heard about the Wii U, but it was just something that by that point I was just kind of into other stuff for the most part, so I didn't really. I missed out on the Wii U era. I didn't get back into Nintendo for quite some time until the Switch came out. But yeah, I took my. Okay, dude, y'all got me messed up. Okay. Y'all overloaded me. Holy crap. Okay. I'll go down the list. Did you know you can play Satisfactory in VR? No, I did not. Are you freaking kidding me? I was actually thinking about maybe getting the Steam frames when they came out. I have 18 kajillion buttons. Yeah, and I'll definitely save room. Can I place a splitter on the conveyor elevator? Yes. I really just didn't want to deal with it, to be honest with you. And I'm sitting here debating it while we speak. So wait, there's a mod to do Satisfactory in VR. Have you played it? Is it good? I hope y'all like me jumping in the water, because this is going to happen a lot. I hope you know that. You're... Hold on, wait a minute. Let it... Crack my knuckles. Scared of modded Satisfactory, you say? You're scared of it? Oh, oh god. I'm messing with you. The only mod that I do for Satisfactory is I have a mod that just stops it from turning nighttime. I know that's not what you meant by it, scared of modded Satisfactory, but sorry, I had to. Sorry. Also, like, I know what you're talking about by the splitters, like doing the, you can do like that and then connect it like that, and it saves some space, but I just don't want to put like a bajillion. Brother, do I have something to tell you? You know what's coming out at the end of March, right? You know, 1.2. I mean, literally on top. Yeah, see, that's one of the things is, like, I've been watching the live streams and stuff, and one of the things that people are speculating is that they're putting weather into it, and some people are saying like mirror mode. I'm not really too stoked about that, because my brain fries as it is. Also, I'm doing this stuff slowly. I am so sorry for y'all to have to deal with this. Multitasking is hard for me, so please bear with me. Unreal Engine virtual reality tool. Okay, hold on. 5 seconds. Let me write that down. I need to do that. Not that thing. Not that thing. There you go. I have 8 pens at my desk and only one of them works. Don't judge me, just engineer things. Unreal Engine VR tool. Alright, I'm definitely going to take a look at that. I wrote that down. Tool, and the mod is UEVR enhancements. Okay. I'm going to try that out. Because, okay, so how tech savvy are we as a crowd here? Like, be honest, like, how tech savvy are we here? You know, do we have a bunch of techies out here? Or, you know, we hitting it up with, yeah, I use the computer to play Satisfactory, and that's about it. The reason why I ask is because I was going to get into some, like, ball knowledge about some, like, computer stuff when it comes to, like, the Steam frame and stuff. And, I just don't want to bore you guys with, like, technical crap that you don't really want to tune into a live stream to hear. And also, I'm going to figure out what you're talking about putting a freaking splitter on top of this thing. No way, dude. No way. This man just hit me with a stick. Does that work? Oh, wait a minute. Wait, this was added as a feature for the 1.1, the vertical splitters. You can just do it like this? No, wait. This is gonna work. turn it 90 degrees. Dude, we got the council of experts in here. I am so glad. You know, thank you guys so freaking much. I'm gonna have to have you guys on freaking speed dial. I was gonna go over there and work on the coal nodes, just bring them over here to go ahead and do this, but I forgot how much coal all this needs. This tells me nothing. Does the menu tell me? Wait a minute. Fuel. Wait. Cooking. 15 per minute. Okay. 15 times 8. It's 120. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you, sir. 120 for 8. Man, with only 450 hours in this game, only with... I see you downplaying. You downplaying your expertise. I got you, man. I understand. You know, I got you. You know, you gotta keep that tucked in your pocket. You know, you can't play all your cards and then whip it out on the poor scrubs on me like me. I got you. I got you. And then we will do some tomfoolery. Logistics. I know I could just grab the merger from the thing, but I don't want to screw with my mouse. Well, see, that's the thing is like, I use the calculator, and funny enough, every time I open the calculator, I think of that one video. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I watch too many YouTube shorts as it is. But it's the one guy, and he's like arguing with the dude, and he's like, "Yeah, what's 10,000 plus 10,000 times 5?" And the dude's like, 50,000. Dude, there's no way you can actually calculate that. There's no way you can calculate that. That's not humanly possible. You're using a calc. By the way, chat, calc is short for calculator. I'm pretty sure that's like some archaic junk that you've never seen. But he just has that argument the whole time, and he just keeps going. Chat, calc is short for calculator. It's just so you know, so you just don't get left out of the loop. Calc's short for calculator. Okay, yeah, the construction modes, dude. My boy, the straight conveyor, bless. Okay, how am I gonna do this? I have it going this way, so Satisfactory snobs, close your eyes. I'll let you know when it's over. When we finish clipping. Close your eyes. I'll be done in a minute. I'll hurry. Okay, you can open your eyes now. I won't look back at the atrocities of clipping through stuff. Dude, yeah, zoot mode. Brother. Okay. See, I'll tell you the real struggles, man. I'll hit you with the real struggles. Number one, this nonsense. Dude, life is pain. You know, you think I would sit here and do, 8, 7, I think it's 7 foundations is like for the amount a conveyor belt can go. You know, you think I'd hit it with get it right. And I'm just putting these on foundations because I have lost so many conveyor poles in my life from the first stage. We're doing converge on that one. But yeah, I didn't know about Zoot mode back when I first started this game. And dude, life-changing. There's no way that's gonna reach. My golly, it will. Okay, if you're wondering why I'm clicking on random stuff on my toolbar and I just absolutely freaking forget and like start spamming stuff on my toolbar. So I got like a Logitech mouse, and it's supposed to be an MMO mouse that has 369. It's like 12 buttons on the side. And even though I've had this mouse for like years at this point, I still are not used to it to a point where I can go a little lower. I'm still not used to it where I can just automatically just click on the button and just immediately get it. Supercomputers. Okay, let me get... Okay. Okay, brother, I got you. Hold on. I'll give you the hookup. I'll give you the hookup on supercomputers. And you're not gonna like me when I do it. Just FYI. Dude, feel. I'll tell you what, let me take care of the ne'er-do-wells. Okay, I'm gonna pause this right here, real quick. I'll tell you guys about my other playthrough. I'm gonna show you my other playthrough. I'm gonna show you the farthest I've gotten in this game. So, this is my horrendous train network that I had going on. That's right. 2 locomotives, 8 cars. You know, the way the Lord intended. And block signals that I have no earthly idea how they work. Yeah, that's right, 8. You know, you think, okay, that's not bad, and then you look at that train station, you're like, ooh, that's rough. And this was just an aluminum train. Yeah. No, and then the math wasn't mathing at the end. But like, this is the farthest I got. But I was building this to be an aluminum train. I had a factory set up to go and automate all of the aluminum in the world. What is it, like 12,000 or something like that? I forgot the number. But I'll give you a quick tour of like the things that I did build, so you understand where I'm coming from. So like I had like worked on like looping it through and stuff like that, and I swear I had a train back there. Do I have enough materials for a train? I'm tired of running. I do. I'm so used to beating feet from the other playthrough that I forgot that I can actually just spawn a train and just go. But I had made this, and I was going to get rid of this like concrete area in the center and leave my supports here. But you can kind of see from the right to the left that I had built a railway all the way around the pink forest, because you know all the aluminum all the bauxite nodes. This is freaking loud. I found my other train, by the way. Anyway, but like see, I had train stations out of the yin yang. You know, this isn't really gonna work because this is what is needed to automate all the aluminum ingots in the map. And all of this. So, what I did was I did the sloppy alumina alternate recipe, and you know this fully overclocked. You know it takes this amount of stuff, and actually you need the Mark 6 belts. I think it's Mark 6, right? Yeah, Mark 6 belts to actually do this because you need 1200 throughput for it. But like I had this system where you throw 1200 in and knock 500 off there, 500 off there, and you leave you 200, and then it had a merger line where all the 200 would lead up to another 1200 bauxite, which would then feed into this and then start the chain all over again. And then I also had the water system where the water system would feed into itself. And funny enough, I only have one of these son of a guns actually running in this whole thing, making some aluminum. But I did the sloppy aluminum, and then they're all overclocked except this one is just one power shard. But this guy here, you know, just do the normal aluminum scrap. It feeds the water back into the beginning of the system. And then, you know, cycle repeats itself, just feed it coal and bauxite. But I had like a grandiose idea, and like when I was doing that, you know, I had it laid out because like then I have these balancers here that balance it out the 1200, you know, scrap per line and stuff, except for this one line that's running. And then, you know, as soon as these belts came out and, you know, started making, you know, scrap and everything, it was going to look great. You know, this was going to look fantastic. And, you know, I had grandiose ideas, and then I come over here and I placed this right here for my dimensional depot for AliCAD, I can't pronounce it, the sheets, the aluminum sheets and everything. And then I ended up with that monstrosity right there because this is how many smelters you need just to get aluminum ingots. And I was automating all the aluminum ingots, or that's what the plan was. So I did all that, and then I built the train railroad, and then I realized I did the railroad was just getting out of hand, and I didn't have enough room for the train station to like do all the logistics properly because I didn't plan properly. So then I got overwhelmed too. Also, I'll show you two more builds that I had going on. You know, I have a rocket fuel, you know, facility making rocket fuel, and I have them being ported over by drone, you know, to lift the drones up. And then I was taking the ingots and taking them to the facility to make the rocket fuel, and then, you know, also take them to my main facility. But I'll show you what I had going on. Luckily that let me out. But then over here, so this was like my first major build was this guy right here, and he's still not necessarily pretty. You know, I kind of like him, but at the same time, you know, he ain't good looking. But you can see, like, I don't have any like rail networks or car networks or anything like this, and this is part of the reason why I restarted, is because number one, you know, aluminum was taking over my life because I didn't have any infrastructure set up besides power to handle, you know, dealing with aluminum. But on the flip side, you know, I had the power generation, but I didn't have a way to bring it over. So this guy right here is my rocket fuel factory, and you know, the rocket fuel. Yeah, I do not remember the recipes. If you want me to look them up, I can. But yeah, I use a nitro rocket fuel because it takes two solids and it takes nitrogen gas instead of the acid, so it knocks out a blender out of the step. I do remember that. But like, I have all of these running, all those, and then these are running, I think this is, yeah, diluted fuel, so it just takes the heavy oil residue and the water and turns it into fuel, you know, and then that just pipes straight into those bad boys. And then these are obviously just, you know, heavier oil residue. And then I'm just taking the plastic polymer. I thought about what I could do with it, but what I ended up just doing is just sinking all of it. And everything, just sinking it. You know, let that be it. And then all that rocket fuel for these 4 rows, one of those rows feeds. It was a test of ambition. Test of ambition. That was literally it. My ambitions were crushed. But I had grandiose ideas. Okay, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I flew too close to the sun because I completed this, and then, you know, I was like, yeah, I could do anything, and no, I can't. Not with the type of planning I was doing. But, you know, I have all these generators, you know, and they're doing the. I'm not getting close because they're freaking loud. But these are all overclocked with 3 power shards, you know. So they're all running 625 watts, megawatts. I'm getting away from that. So, like, I was making, you know, 160 megawatts, you know, and you don't really need that. Yeah, see, like 4 or 5 refineries, that's a, you know, that's the smart way to do it. That's the smart way to do it. My ambitions were too high. But yeah, I didn't mean to walk into this, but it works out. So yeah, you know, I've kind of seen that bauxite can definitely be used for other material, like other ways. Like I know you can transmute it with SAM. So, you know, that's going to be future option. But you were talking about supercomputers. Well, let me tell you about this guy up here. Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, everybody plays it differently. So this monstrosity of a train and train network, which goes, I don't know if you, it literally goes to like where we were just at. There's a train station, so it like cuts through the mountainside right there. Absolute pain in the butt. Absolute freaking pain in the butt. I actually didn't know that I had 3 trains on here, funny enough. I absolutely hate the train signaling because it's rough. But this facility here, this honker, this is kind of what broke me. Actually, this works except for the aluminum. This right here is a, I watched a guy named I'm Kibitz. This is called, what he called a factory of factories. So what I did is I make at least one machine that makes one of every single item that you can automate. Like even the portable miners. So I start out and, you know, I do my, you know, my iron wire and stuff like that, and, you know, it's all manifolds. Like there's no like smart splitting whatsoever. I just use the smart splitters to say, hey, fill everything into this machine, and then when you overfill, go to the next one. You know, I just do that. But this makes one of everything, and then also a Christmas event down here. But like I just have multiple levels, and like I'm making everything, so bear with me just for a moment. I do have to get my satisfaction out of the game. Guys, I swear this is no joke. Besides the like dealing with trains and transportation, this right here is like my favorite part of the game.
Being an elevator AI has its ups and downs.
God, dude, I love it. Anyway, so I was gonna have this closed off, and this was going to be a storage room for every item in the game. And supercomputers is included in here somewhere. My big stick, and I had, no joke, everything done, all the way, even your nobelisks and everything. I had everything done, and also this all goes to dimensional depots too. This all goes to dimensional depots. Five or six times, yeah. I'll get to you that in just a second. What you said, because that's very funny, and this is part of the reason why I started it differently. I kind of have ideas. Dude, the spaghetti. I love the spaghetti. Anyway, but I was gonna have it to where I had dimensional depot for, no joke, everything. And to give you an idea, I maxed out the dimensional depots and everything. You know, maxed out the ability, like how much you can do. How much, like the rate that it can go in, and how much, you know, it can take, how many stacks it can take. I did all that and everything, and I got every single hard drive in the game except for one, because it requires like a superposition oscillator, I think is what it was, or something like that. I don't remember what it's called. It's the only one that needs it, but like I had fused modular frames going. My main thing that's got my issue going on right now is this part right here. This part has an issue because I needed, which this ties back to the aluminum. I needed more aluminum to run everything, because actually, funny enough, I was running aluminum steel beams. And then canisters, more canisters, the aluminum sheets. You know, this needs the casings. You know, everything on this floor needed aluminum. Aluminium. Whichever one's correct for you. But like this whole floor needed all like aluminum, and I just don't have enough throughput. I don't have enough machines making it, and I got so tied into like making that. Like you can even see that train track right there, like how much infrastructure like did not have, because I didn't do order of operations to the best of my ability. So needless to say, like this could be running. Everything's laid out to be 100% efficient in this build. The only thing is I'd have to at the end add awesome sinks to take the excess over, and then I would also need just more aluminum throughput. And if I did those two things, this factory would be done, and I would have one of everything. Also, I'll let you enjoy the power slug carousel for a little bit. But yeah, talking about doing like the 5 or 6 times without using foundations. This was one thing that I've really seen. I watched, who was it? Dude, I start talking about people that I've watched, and I can't remember their names for the life of me. My memory is so bad. But I watched a dude speedrun Satisifactory, and that's how I learned about the area that that we're starting at in the other playthrough. And they speedran through the game, and they never left that area for the most part. But when I say speedran, you know, he made all his machines, and you just build on top of everything. But you know, at the end of the day, he was having to wait hours for stuff, And, you know, part of the things that I don't like about the early game is, you know, having to wait for everything, but, you know, that's the rite of passage, pretty much, in my opinion. But, yeah, the whole point of this whole factory, my ambitions, was because I did not want to wait. Plain and simple. I didn't want to wait. I tried to grind, just sounded like at the beginning of the stream, I was going to the desert solely because, you know, I was trying to skip a grind, and I shouldn't do that. You know, but, you know, hard to learn lessons. But anyway, so this is where I got last time, and just to verify, I finished tier 8. It was phase 4. Phase 4 was the only thing that I did not do. So, you know, I'm at the end. You know, I could continue to save, but if I had to build one more railroad track with no freaking hover pack or anything or any like directions, I would punch a freaking hole in this computer, to be honest. Yeah, I know it's so close, but see, that's the funny part, is every single time I play this game, the first time I played this game, I didn't get past phase 1. You know, these that we just finished earlier. First time I played, I never got past this because I was like, okay, wait, I think I can do it better. And then I did it, and then I never got past, what was it? The beginning of oil production. You know, I stopped at oil production, and then I restarted again. And then I got all the way up to here. You know, so every time I do play it, you know, I get farther and farther. So I'm definitely, you know, you guys got to hold me to it. I'm gonna beat this game. I'm gonna do it. And the Steam achievements, I want to get all the Steam achievements. Yeah, like a roguelite, pretty much. You know, that's basically how it is at this point. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I promise to you that I'm going to try my best. Yep, trial and error. You just got it. We're going to do it. We're going to beat it. I'm going to do my best. Anyway, so all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up. I'm gonna try to get these coal generators online. I appreciate it, man. You know, I hope you guys, you know, I'm gonna stream it, whether you guys decide to stick around or not. But hey, you know what? You know, I'll be here. I'll be doing it. I'm gonna videotape it. Mom, like, get Mom to get the camera. We're gonna do it. Oh, abso-freaking-lutely how simple everything is. But we're gonna beat this game. My first live stream was we're gonna do 100%. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate everything of this game at this point. Alright, we're gonna cheat. When I say cheat, I mean run out of materials. But yeah, appreciating each phase. See, I know this is gonna get like, I'm gonna repeat this like 100 more times. I promise you, but that infrastructure that I did not build, you know, even though the cars are glitched, I didn't do the trucks and tractors because I heard they were glitchy, so I didn't do them, right? You saw in my other layout, I didn't do them at all. I skipped them completely, and I don't need to do that. I need to actually use them, because if I build the infrastructure that's needed to do the cars, like do the roadways and stuff, if I build that infrastructure, that's infrastructure that I can go and build on top of to build those big factories again, but this time I don't struggle as much. if that makes sense. So yeah, it's all about appreciation. But we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. And there's gonna I already know that there's gonna be tons of like tons of cars like crashing into each other. It's gonna be fantastic. But we're gonna push through. Is it bad I already forgot what I was coming out here to do? Nowadays I even like it more. In part of the game. See, that's funny that you said that you like the beginning part of the game. You know, you appreciate it, and you know, I hope to reach enlightenment like that one day. One day. Oh yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah, dude, I play the intro sequence every single time, but no, you know, I think you guys are right. You know, doing this little simplistic stuff. You know, I had everything in the dirt here, and then you know, I tried to at least have a little bit of organization with like the foundations and stuff. You know, it just have a little bit of organization. Brother, dude, are you like looking into my childhood? Please, sir. But yeah, I really get to appreciate all the stuff that you were from 2001. Bro. Dude, 2001, you missed everything. No, I'm messing with you. No, I'm around. See, most of my childhood was Xbox 360. Missed the 80s and 90s. Yeah. I caught the latter half of the 90s. You know, so right when things were turning around, the good old 2000s commercials and everything. But dude, you're talking about Titanfall, man. I have a tendency on a lot of games. You know, I have a little bit of OCD, I guess, to a degree, to the point that, you know, I like to have a degree of perfection to my games. Like, I like getting all the achievements and everything. And one of the things that I really wanted to do in this game is get all the achievements. But that goes all the way back to games like Titanfall. Like, Titanfall, for example, if I'm remembering correctly, which y'all can correct me if I'm not, but one of the things that you had to do is you had to do different types of, like, challenges to unlock all the executions for like your for executing people, and I freaking did that. So like I would sit there, dude, you guys are geniuses on this. Sorry, but yeah, I went and did all the challenges to get all of the executions. So I would go. Actually, don't even need to do that one. But I would go get all the execution, so then you can do just the random. So every time you go execute somebody, you just do a random execution. That stuff was just awesome. Okay, talk about giant robots. Which robot class did you play? That's the big thing. We're gonna have an ultimate judge of character here. Pacific Rim. Legion. Legion was the one with the minigun. Yeah. Okay, Scorch was really fun. Yeah, I remember Scorch very well. He's infamous. See, you can do those like games, like those like tests to like test your personality and stuff. Screw all that. What Titan did you main in Titanfall 2? What I would play all the time was the was Monarch. Yeah. Dude, I played Monarch. I was that dude that would, you know, because you know, like you would have the upgrade paths on Monarch. Do the belts right, yeah. I would do the upgrade paths on Monarch, so then, brother, I could never do Ronin. I never did Ronin. Dude, I'd be sweating to death doing Ronin. But dude, I would do Monarch, and you get the first 3 level ups, right, to make yourself more powerful as a Titan. And then, you know, every consecutive power up that was usually like your ultimate, right? You would then I would then do, you know, you would then get the battery, right? And so it would give you the heal. You know, that's what I went for. And then I would just try to last in the Titan for as long as I could. So, you know, I played like a little heathen. And we're back in the war. I just realized I didn't do 4 meter foundations. I don't know how this happened. On the beginning of the match, the chat was spammed with "good luck, have fun." Dude, I remember that stuff so much. Oh man. Dude, I love Titanfall so much. I miss that game. Last time I heard, Titanfall 2 was hacked, so you couldn't play it anymore. The servers were down because people were mad about Apex. Oh yeah, absolutely. It was just pure chaos after that. Okay, if I remember this correctly, let me think. Dude, you're not the only one. Straight up, you know, I played Apex a little bit. It's not even close. I've dabbled with Apex a little bit. You will not catch me playing a battle royale willingly. If you ever see me on this platform and I am playing a battle royale, do know I have a gun to my head. Like somebody has put a gun to my head and forced me to play it. Apex, I have zero interest in. I want Titanfall 3 so freaking bad, and we're never gonna get it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. If I remember correctly, I'm gonna delete this for now. So this takes 45 times 5 is 225. It's 3s. 45. So I'm trying to remember because, you know, you can only have Mark 1 pipes and they take 300. Just for the mech. You know what's funny is I haven't even heard anything about Apex Legends in like so long. The last time I actually heard about Apex Legends was they released the character that was they released a character that was supposed to be the whatchamacallit, it was supposed to be like the daughter of the pilot, you know, the guy who did the Flying Ronin and during the campaign of campaign. Yeah, that was the last time I heard anything. How do I want to do this? Do it like this. 1 second, Eddie, yeah.
That may indeed be water. Try submerging your arm. If it does not dissolve, that will narrow down the range of possibilities. Or you could just pipe it to a coal-powered generator and see what happens.
Dude, I feel you. 100% feel you. Okay, I am about to goof this up to no belief. And you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Oh yeah, you guys are gonna love this. So anyway, dude, yeah, no, Apex, I heard a long time ago that they're not gonna do Titanfall 3 because of Apex. They were trying to do the same thing that GTA 5 did, where, you know, GTA 5 just runs forever. And they just did that. Exclusive. So see, that's my thing is, with the like the pay to win stuff and everything. Like I get the arguments and stuff. Yeah, yeah. Like the pay to win characters and stuff. If it gives you an actual advantage. Well, to be completely honest with you, I don't like microtransactions at all. I do not like them whatsoever. It's just, you know, I don't think, number one, you're already paying for the game, and the state of games that it's like nowadays is, you know, you don't even own the game that you're buying nowadays. You know, that's just the way things have become now. And it's just absolutely insane. Yeah, Ubisoft is a good example. You will own nothing and be happy, you know, as everybody says. And yeah. They crash to the ground. But that's what I'm saying is, like, these folks do the most stupid junk known to man. Yeah, they are. I'm a software engineer, so, you know, I do more advising now than anything, but, you know, I've done my fair share of programming and everything, and so, like, one of the things, brother, I know how that magic smoke gets in them computers, and it's whack. You know, the man picked a rock off the ground and taught it math. That's all I gotta say. But you know, I do the programming and stuff, and actually, funny enough, I was thinking about like moving jobs and stuff, and I was like thinking about the different companies that I would like to work for. You know, like I've gotten to a point now that I really want to work for somebody, you know, work for a company that I can believe in, if that makes sense. I know that sounds stupid, but, you know, the company goes in a direction that I actually care about, if that makes sense. So, like, you go and, you know, there's companies in America, and I have no idea about, like, where you guys are from, but, like, in America, you know, there's these companies that are all about like mass surveillance of the people. if you want like a really deep rabbit hole, look up what a flock camera is, like a flock of birds. Look up a flock, like what flock cameras are. They are literally recording everybody. Um, and I promise not to go on a tangent. That's not good. I'll worry about that later. But like dude, like a lot of companies nowadays that even pay decently well, they're mass surveillance companies, and it's just horrendous. Well, see, yeah, and that's a thing. Well, oh man, dude. Yes and no. Uh, to a degree, you know, I'm not I don't really get political in real life. Um, but I will try to speak to what, you know, what are like some actual truths. But the big thing is okay. I know I'm supposed to be playing Satisfactory. Hold on, I have to show you this. You know, this has to be shown. You know, I gotta show you what I'm talking about. You know, I don't think this is the right map. Yep, this is the right map. Okay. So this right here is a open source map that people make, and all these are all the flock cameras. Yeah, really laggy. All the flock cameras that are in the United States. And flock, to give you an idea what flock is I can't spell. Yes, yes, Facebook. Please tell me where the flock cameras are. Um, they look like this. They look like this. So like you'll go down the road, right? And they'll just be like a little solar powered, you know, thing right here, and it powers just one camera right here. And they are everywhere. Like I think this is, yeah, this is San Francisco. Look at this. San Francisco's not big at all. And that's how many freaking cameras they have in that one city. And so like you can leave your house and and those cameras are going to record you going wherever you're going to go. Yeah, it's insane. But the thing about it is, Flock, the people who make this, the company Flock, they are a startup company. They're a startup company to where they get money from investors for future potential, but all they do is mass surveillance, and they take all these cameras and all this data and they combine it together to track people, and they sell that data to the government. They just straight up just sell it to the government. That's all they do. That's the service that they provide. And it's so bad because you can't petition. They don't give a crap about the local governments, like the city governments or city councils. Dude, Watchdogs before his time, swear. But you know, let's say the city council of San Francisco said they wanted all these flock cameras gone. They can't do it. They have to send a cease and desist, which that cease and desist, you know, takes for, you know, everything in the U.S. government's slow. It takes forever for this stuff to go away. And, you know, you can send that cease and desist, but that doesn't even mean they're going to actually do it, because you can actually take these, like, let's say you want to be like a vigilante or something, so to say, right? You can go knock one of these down, and there'll be another one up the next morning. No, like no joke. And you know, even me, I live in a rural area. Yeah, I don't live in California or anything, but like, you know, it's not as bad. You know, this is more of what it looks like around my area. You know, just random image. But you see, you know, they're everywhere. Like, they know joke for the amount of cameras that they have. They can actually see when I leave the house, what time, where I'm going, and they can actually they set up a flock camera like right outside my place I work at, my day job. So they know like everything. And it's stupid. And you said that government is afraid of its people. Well, that's the thing is they're trying to flex control over the people with this, um, and everything. And you know, this is just like cybersecurity matters. Like privacy is a big thing for me, which is funny for somebody who's live streaming, himself. But I do think privacy to a degree is a big, big thing. And this is just absolutely bonkers. Because nobody's consented to these cameras watching you and everything, and then they just track you, and it's rough. It's rough out here nowadays. But that stuff boils my blood, man. It grinds my gears so bad. Anyway, let's finish this guy up. Actually, I think it's only in the U.S. right now. But brother, be on the lookout. Yeah, three or five. Yeah, that's a possibility. But brother, it's rough, man. It's rough. A man can only ask to like not get tracked by his government. That's all a man can ask for. All right, and we'll set this guy up right here. Okay, and to get this guy started off, I would go put him up on the biofuel generators way back at the other base, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make this self-contained for a little bit. Let's see here. This takes an answer I don't have. This takes 20 times 3 is 60 plus 4 times 2 is 8, so 68 plus 2 Mark 1 miners, 68 is 78. So we need 78. It has 4. Never mind. Oh, yeah. Brother, I wish you luck. We'll be in there together. They start. But it's just the sheer stupidity of it, and people are letting this happen. They say that the American people can control the government, but brother, hope's getting lost nowadays. Hope is getting lost. 78, and this runs 30, 30, 60, 90, 120. That'd be good enough. Okay, that should be enough to run everything. Dude, I believe it. I don't, to be honest with you, I don't know a lot about international politics or anything, or international stuff going on. I'm gonna be straight with you, dude. There's so much junk going on, just in the continental United States at this point that, it's overbearing. I've gotten to a point where I don't really look a whole lot at stuff. To be honest with you, I just I can't look at this stuff. It just makes me mad. Yeah, no middle ground. See, that's the thing is, yeah, it's bad the way things are coming to be and everything, and I hate that it's happening. Hopefully that's enough. But you know, stuff's going downhill, man, and I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy trying to be a dude. Heck yeah. I mean, no other way to try to be. But let's get back to let's try to get to more positive topics. Like, I actually just built this coal generator, and you know we're gonna be awesome because these biofuel generators are totally not gonna run out of fuel. You know, we're awesome. That's the thing. Yeah. No. Exactly. Son of a. Brother. Holy moly! It went through it immediately. Okay, hold on. We're gonna take it. Ooh, that sounds interesting. What is that like made out of? I'm going to butcher that name, Baropa. I can go ahead and tell you, I know I butchered that. Funny enough that last one that you just sent, funny enough, I actually have had that before. But Baropa. Hey man, yeah, dude, thanks for like hanging out. Okay, okay, I butchered it a little less, but yeah, man, sorry you have to go, but like I'm about to call it soon. But thank you for coming out, man. You know, I'll be here on Friday if you need something to listen to. But you have a good one, man. Thanks for coming out. Oh yeah, dude, it's 1 minute to midnight for me, so. As soon as we get these coal generators online, we're dipping. We're dipping for the night. I got work in the morning. You guys are like crazy night owls. Y'all scared me. Dude, I just ran all this way and I just remembered that the power went out over here too. Son of a freaking gun, dude. Dude, the lives we live. But yeah, funny enough, I've had that Baropa before. Don't ask me how I liked it. Dude, I feel that. What class you planning on trying to skip? Study management. Brother, okay, fill me in. Fill me in. What's the class about? Load me up on the knowledge. Dude, okay. You're skipping all the classes tomorrow. That's fair. You know what? Brother, you only live once. Run it. Just cuz? Heck yeah. Don't worry, brother. Look, staying up to 2 a.m. and watching me be a little goblin grabbing leaves like a plebeian. Have a good record of... Well, see, here's the thing. Will skipping do major damage? Like, is there some sort of, you know, incentive to have a good attendance record? That's the thing. Is there an incentive at the end of, you know, the class, you know, for having a good attendance record? Nope. Brother, skip it. Just need the grades? Word. Dude, tell me less. We will 100% skip that class. And if they ask, you said you watched some dude picking up leaves at 2 a.m. Oh, you get an allotment of skips? Whoa, that's actually neat. See, back when I was in school, so when I was in college, there were some classes that they didn't really care. There were some classes they didn't really care, and then there was other classes that the professors would actually make it part of your final grade that you attended all your classes. So if you skipped more than 2 classes in a semester, which is 6 months, then you'd get docked points. Unless it was an excused absence, you know, like you had a doctor's appointment that couldn't be rescheduled or something like that. But hey, the big thing is hey, if you know the material, run it. Just don't even worry. Okay, we're gonna beat this thing. We're gonna get this coal generation working. Dude, I know, brother, we had those type of guys all the time. You know, that takes some bravery to do. I had a professor that said attendance is not mandatory, and then he turned around to start writing stuff on a board, and there was like 2 dudes that sat next to the door and immediately dipped out as soon as, you know, he had said that. Oh yeah, like busy work and stuff like that. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, you know, that was one of the things. It's like the assignments that I had, you know, weren't really like worth actually being assignments. I think we accidentally completed. Yeah, you see, that's nonsense. That's just nonsense. Brother, what do you mean? Oh, I know why. Yeah, it's demotivating. It really is. Like, why even? Like when I was doing my classes and stuff, it was the ones that had all the busy work and stuff was just absolutely demoralizing. Because, you know, you sit there and you do this busy work, and then what's worse is they'll make the busy work count towards something. Yeah, dude, college was peak. Like what type of classes are you going through like right now? Like, is it like part of your like part of your job going to do like training, or are you doing, you know, a different degree? What? Oh, I got you. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's you know, I've learned that the higher level, the higher you go in education, you know, the easier it gets. Funny enough. I did my master's degree, and I finished that last year. And funny enough, that was easier than high school to me. You know, a little help from ChatGPT, but that helped out a lot. But um, but yeah, that was a big thing. Was all that. Oh man. Okay, hopefully we should be running now. As soon as that coal shows up, then we should be running. Oh boy, hit it, hit it. What you got for me? Abso-freaking-lutely, and mine died immediately. My Tamagotchi died immediately. I was so mad. Funny enough, not too long ago, I was looking at the Tamagotchis to still see if they're still around, and they are. That's freaking nuts. But, dude, Tamagotchis were, you know, they sucked to deal with, but they were awesome at the same time. You know, it was the true fashion statement of the time. Okay, we got a steady flow of coal this time, so we should be rocking it out. Brother, I hate to tell you, but you are. Welcome to the club. You know what's bad? 2016 is when I started college. Started in college, and that was 10 years ago, and that hurts my soul to no degree. Like, that hits so hard, it's insane. Okay. These are figuring itself out, but they're gonna keep running now, so this is good. One not connected. Where? Oh, yeah, that's right. You're right. I did this earlier because I was gonna add my pumps up here, and then I realized I didn't have to do that. You're right. Thank you. They should have still got the lifts. I'll check those too. I'll double check. Oh, you're saying this one? They're not connected here. Wait. I just don't think they've made it made it this far yet, because it's gonna take forever, because these aren't smart splitters. So I think it's gonna take a while. Going on the buildings. Oh. Water pipe, coal, pipe 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 coal. It looks like we're all good. Yeah, you know, no, the ones in red. So the way we set it up, yeah, those red ones down there. The way we set it up is this is splitting, you know, half into this machine, half down this way, and then it's halving again and halving again. So it's the manifold system. So it's going to take forever for the coal to reach all the way down here, which we could speed it up if we made these smart splitters, but I don't have those unlocked yet. So when we did the smart splitters, then it would fill one machine, then move to the next, fill one machine, move to the next, stuff like that. But because these are dumb splitters, they're just gonna barely, see, like that one turned on, it's gonna take forever for them to start running. But the fact that we have one or two down here that's completely full, yeah, absolutely. Which all I did was just merge them and just ran a 120 belt down here, just to make it a little simpler. But anyway, so, but yeah, I'm gonna call it there for tonight. I gotta go take a shower and everything, get ready for work. But hey man, I appreciate you coming out and hanging out today. You know, it's always nice to meet new people and everything. But you know, good luck with skipping your classes tomorrow and everything. And you know, you have a good night and everything. And if you want to stop back by ever again, I don't necessarily have a schedule set up right now. I'm still trying to like bob and weave through it, but I'm gonna try to shoot for at least Mondays and Fridays every week. You know, in that well, my afternoon times. So I'm Eastern Standard Time, so you know I'll try to shoot for 7 p.m. But you know work kind of gets around. But you know, come as you may. You know, but anyway, but hey, appreciate it. Hey, thanks for following too, man. I appreciate it. But it was good talking to you and everything. But you have a good rest of your night and good luck, man.